Hi, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, and in this video we're going to talk about how to license PolicyPak for the Group Policy Edition part for existing customers. So existing customers, you should probably already have a licensed GPO like this. Now the best practice is to link it over to the entire domain and have it enforced on. When you do this for your existing license, you can see that it would go through any GPO block inheritance, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be linked directly over to your sales or your North sales. If you have it linked to the entire domain and enforced on, it goes absolutely everywhere in the whole domain. And inside the license, it says where it's going to be scoped for. Now, we now have two kinds of licenses. One for your existing client-side extensions that you're going to be upgrading to the more modern one, and another license type for your modern client-side extension. So we've got client-side extensions that are born before the year 2021 and client-side extensions born the year after 2021. Now, to do what we're going to do here, we're actually going to pretend that we've given you two licenses. We're going to pretend we gave you the old type of licenses where we have one license per component, you can see here, and then we're also giving you a license type for the universal license type here. And I've got a couple of examples here. You would only get one. And the idea is that you're going to install these side by side. Okay, why is that? What's the story here? Well, the old ones are going to go affect your existing client-side extensions, and the new one is going to affect your future client-side extensions. So what does that mean? So when you get these new licenses, here's what we suggest you do. Okay, first thing you can do is you can say thank you but no thank you to the existing one that's here. You can either uncheck link enabled here, which is fine, or you can delete the link to the domain. It's not going to actually nuke the whole GPO. You can do that later once you know that everything's tested. And then my recommendation is that you right-click, create a GPO in this domain, and link it here. Now this one you can call like PolicyPak licenses for existing, older than 2021 CSEs. Okay, so this is the old school one. Okay, you just right-click, click Edit here, and then we'll go on to the computer side. Go to PolicyPak, and this is a little bit tricky. You left click to get it kind of warmed up, and then you right click and go to license management. So on the PolicyPak node, you left click first, then you right click and go to license management. Okay, so once you're in license management here, what we'll do is we will, I'm going to first import the old type licenses that we have sent you. So we'll go ahead and click import here, and I'm going to give it the folder, and we're going to give you a giant collection of these things. So let's pretend you got 11 or 12 of them or whatever it is. You go ahead and click open, and they're going to all go zippity zip into your GPO. You can see each component is licensed, and this is going to affect your born before 2021 client-side extensions. That's it. You're done. Go ahead and click close, okay, and you can close this out. And then if we take a look at the GPO's guts and take a look at admin templates, PolicyPak licenses, hey, look at that. You can see all the licenses are there. You can see the scope. You can see when it's licensed until, and you're good to go. And there's going to be always this little extra registry settings. This is expected, okay? Don't panic. That's expected. And then lastly, like I said, the best practice is you linked it to the domain and you enforce it on, okay? Now that's the older licenses. Now what we'll do is we'll have a side-by-side GPO for the new one. So we'll do PP licenses for CSEs newer than 2021. Okay, so now I've got two of them side by side. Well, we can go ahead and click edit here, and we'll do the same thing. So once it opens up, we'll go ahead and go to the PolicyPak node on the computer side. Left click on the PolicyPak word, right click on license management, and now we will click import. And instead of importing the old license types, it's time to do the universal type. And yours could look well, let's go ahead. Here's an example of all the components, absolutely everything in one shot. This would be considered our enterprise license. So an enterprise license, you can see where it's scoped. It can be scoped for Active Directory and also Azure Active Directory. Okay, you can see that the scope type is GPO, XML, which means SCCM or PDQ deploy or any other kind of way to deploy PolicyPak directives, and your MDM service. And you can also see the scope. So the scope is listed here too. And then here are all the components that you're licensed for. Okay, so this would be considered the everything. So this is enterprise. And when you go ahead and click close here, that's it. You're done. So just to show what we do here, we just, like I said, right click and enforce it on. And if you wanted to see what's inside that license, I'm just refreshing to get the latest here. You can see universal licenses, and you can see when the expiration date is, the scope type, and the different scopes and so on, and the components you're licensed for. And if there's a component that has multiple editions, okay, or multiple capabilities, like Least Privilege Manager, you can see what version you are licensed for. If I were to go back into that GPO here for just 2 seconds, since I'm here anyway, I'd like to show you what some of the other licenses that you could potentially get could look like, just as some examples here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this license, and I'm going to add in some of my other example licenses just so you can see what this looks like. So here is an example of a professional edition that where somebody bought specific packs and components. So you can see here that my scope is my valid scope is for my domain. It could be for particular OUs. My scope type, okay, look, no MDM is lit up here. So I've got GPO and XML. That's fine. Okay, you have to tell us which things you want to light up in enterprise or professional. And then you can see Least Privilege Manager, the capabilities are standard. Okay, so this person only bought the standard edition of Least Privilege Manager, but then they bought the pack of the Windows 10 Management Pack. So File Association, Start Screen, and Feature Manager. Okay, so the idea is that, oh, actually this is a little bit weird, but anyway, the point is that these are the components that you're licensed for. And let's go ahead and click delete. Let's just check out one more just for fun. Okay, we'll go ahead and do let's go ahead and do this guy here. I don't know what this guy is. Okay, actually pretty similar. All right, the point of the story is once you have your licenses locked and loaded in here, and you can refresh. Okay, you can see, okay, there's your licenses, and you're all ready to go. The point of the story, just to set it up one more time, is that because you're an existing customer, and you probably are going to have older client-side extensions out there that were born before the year 2021, you're going to need the older licensing for those client-side extensions to pick up. And then as you progress through the year 2021 and beyond, you're going to use the new universal licenses that are in here, and those client-side extensions are going to pick up these licenses. When you link them to the entire domain, and then, like I said, enforce it on, because the scope is actually in here, and again, I know that mine are scoped for the entire domain, and I realize that yours may be scoped for specific OUs. That's fine. As long as it's linked to the entire domain, that is our humble suggestion. You can alternatively manually link them over to your North and East Sales OUs if that's what you have. It's not my first choice. My first choice is to do it the entire domain, get absolutely every computer to recognize that this GPO has the license stuff in it, and when the computer goes into a valid scope, bang, that's when it's going to get licensed. So what happens if during the year you have there's a new component and you get it because you buy into it or you're entitled to it? What are you going to do? Well, you're going to go take what we give you and go to both your older GPO license directive and your newer one. So let's do the older one first. We'll go ahead and click edit here, and we'll go back to PolicyPak. We'll left click on the PolicyPak node, right click, go to license management. And remember, each individual component is licensed here, but let's say we get a new component and you're entitled to it. You can go ahead and click import and pick the license file that we give you, which will be considered like this. Let's pretend you don't have this one yet. Bang. Okay. There you go. Now you're licensed, and you go ahead and click close, and you're done. That's all there is to it. Okay. If we were to do a similar thing for the newer universal license type, well, the newer universal license type, everything is contained in that one file. So we're just going to send you a brand new file. So what does that look like? You go ahead and you left click on the PolicyPak node, click on license management here, and we will dump the old one. So we'll go ahead and click delete on the one that's in there, okay? And then we're going to import the new one, okay, which is going to be universal type. And let's pretend you upgrade from professional to enterprise and now you have everything. Well, that's great. There you go. You can see all the components. You might want to spot check to make sure the thing you asked for is actually in there. Double check your scope and so on, and then bang, that's it. All right. So the point of the story is now you kind of have a one-stop shop for your licenses. One for the older license type and one for the newer license type. If we get new stuff and you're entitled to it, you just go to the GPO and you can dump the old stuff and add the new stuff. Now remember, in 2022, the old licensing isn't going to work anymore. So in 2022, your client-side extensions have to be upgraded to a modern version that's from year 2021 or newer. So in this case, when that time comes, you can feel free to delete the older licensing GPO because, well, there's no point, and then you'll only be using exclusively the newer licensing GPO with universal licenses, okay? And also, of course, if you know that you have 100% saturation of the newer client-side extensions, the one born past 2021, then you're, again, welcome to nuke the older licensing GPO because it has no effect anymore on the older client-side extensions. Okay, so hope this helps you out. If you have any further questions about licensing, we're here to help. And just email support@policypak.com. Thanks so much.